I would like to introduce our host, Sheree Marris, who is a marine biologist, author, and documentary maker. She turns ocean science into captivating stories. Known for bold conservation campaigns and media commentary, she brings science, storytelling, and a splash of sass to the seas. And I have to introduce her now. Come on down, Sheree.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, lovers, for all coming. I'm pretty excited. Now, we're going to celebrate all things love and talk about people who have fallen in love, which is really exciting. But that kind of love that's built on sand in your undies, salt burn, sunscreen, and a love that runs deeper than the ocean itself. Now, I've had a brief introduction, and probably what you didn't say is why I'm heavily invested in this conversation is that although I write about sex not really happening personally, I'm perennially single. So I'm hoping I also have no shame. And this could also be completely unhinged. So just strap yourselves in. Single, trying to find some tips, potentially my King Neptune if you're out there somewhere. But I'm an eternal optimist. I love, so I'm really keen to listen to these stories, but just for pure research purposes. Who has met their partner through the ocean? Oh, who's single? Look at you, love it. Okay, feel free to swap numbers later. Happy to hook you up. Now, we've done that, which is really exciting. Now this comes down to the fun bit. Now I'm going to pretend like I am a talk show host. So I want to introduce our first couple, and you've already met one part of the dynamic duo, which is Emily Jateff and Dr. James Hunter. Come on down. Woo! Feel free to pirouette as you come on. Emily, come on down. Now, this dynamic duo. Emily is an archaeologist and senior curator of ocean futures at the Australian National Maritime Museum. Step on up, my friend. Now, she turns ocean science and history into stories that people actually want to hear. And she's got a passion for connecting communities to the sea, and she champions the role of culture and storytelling in protecting our oceans. Think of Emily, apart from being a massive ray of sunshine, as a person who makes sure our oceans past, present, and future all gets a voice. So welcome, beautiful. Her partner in crime, yeah, that's a green flag. I was introducing James to the concept of green flag, red flag, and it's a definite red flag, my friend, for that. Now, James is the manager of maritime archaeology at the Australian National Maritime Museum. He spent nearly 3 decades uncovering shipwrecks and lost history beneath the waves.
Too long.
Job. I know. But and you started diving when you were 9 years old, which is extraordinary. And you've explored some incredible sites around the world, bringing the ocean's hidden stories back to the surface so we can all enjoy them. So I like to think of James like an underwater Indiana Jones, just swap the whip and hat for scuba gear and a wetsuit. So welcome, lovers.
And no hoods, because I hate hoods.
No hoods.
Don't.
Okay. I'm all about them. I get cold as I'm getting older, but that's a completely another story. Although now, hot flush. Thank you very much. Couple 2 is Angela Curry and Jason Iggledon. Come on down, lovers. Now, Angela is an ocean swimmer, educator, and passionate advocate for marine protection. Oh, I love this. So this is just the best. That's what I want. You can just sit it on each other's laps.
You can do
Sit
the
on
learn
their
dual
laps.
thing, or yeah.
Now, Angie uses her platform, Angie.swims, to campaign for the removal of shark nets and raise awareness, as well as helping to protect Bondi's incredible marine life. That's not all. She's a teacher by day, so she's also helping to shape the next generation of ocean ambassadors through programs like Literati Legend. Her partner in crime, Jason, is the man with eyes in the sky. He uses drones to spot sharks and keep beachgoers safe while building a community of over 250,000 ocean watchers. I know, that's very impressive. He does that through his drone shark app, And he's turning real-time shark sightings into really powerful tools for awareness and education. So basically, if there's a shark or something really incredible in the water, Jason is all over it. Now, our third couple, last but not least, the dynamic duo Harriet and Woody Spark. Come on down, lovers. Oh, this is the best, holding hands. Oh, that's what I want when I grow up. Now, Harriet is a filmmaker and photographer whose work has featured for National Geographic, PBS, and ABC, and she brings powerful conservation stories to the screen. She's got years of underwater filming experience and a passion for character-driven storytelling, and she specialises in revealing the human stories behind science. Welcome. Her partner in crime, Woody. Now, he's an award-winning underwater cinematographer whose work has featured in major productions. Has anyone seen Secrets of the Octopus? Hands up. He's the man who helped film it, legend. As well as Netflix, All the Sharks, and he's filmed everywhere from tropical reefs to icy seas, capturing the hidden drama of ocean's wildlife. So, welcome, lovers. Now, I want to get right into it. No foreplay here, straight down to it. I want to know how it all began. What was that moment where you met and you thought, this is my man or my woman, and it gave you goosebumps and you thought, that's it, I'm done searching. Now, I'm going to start with Harriet and Woody. Okay. How did you meet? Was it love at first dive?
I can take this one. It most certainly was not. Sorry, that's so vague. But I think that's why our relationship has lasted like 15 years now. But basically, Woody and I was working on a scuba diving boat in the Whitsundays, and Woody was a filthy British backpacker, and he had also fallen in love with diving and wanted to start working on a dive boat. And so we worked together for 6 or 7 months and became like best friends, and we were completely in the friend zone. And then one night, after a week of being out on the boat with like lots of backpackers, Woody was chatting to a backpacker at the bar, and I felt this feeling in my tummy, and I was like, oh, I think that might be jealousy. And so I destroyed that promise for Woody that night and made him hang out with me. And then it slowly evolved into a relationship. And is that how you remember it?
I think I might romanticize it a little bit more than that.
But was it the accent that got
There
you
was
over?
actually a time when I was living in a share house, and I went to make a meal for Harriet, and it was a lasagna, and the pasta was not cooked. So we always refer to it as crispy lasagna, and I think that won your heart.
Yeah,
That's
that
the moment.
crispy lasagna.
Yeah,
the way to a
the
good
ocean,
heart.
really.
That's fantastic. Now, Angela and Jason, how did the ocean bring you together? Because you're under the water most of the time, and Jason, you're on top.
That's right. I'll start it, I think, because it was really my initiative that brought us together. I was a follower, I was a fangirling. And yeah, using Jay's footage that would inspire me and excite me to get in the ocean in Bondi and go find some of those creatures. And then I started painting some of them, and I thought, oh, I should give this to the guy who has inspired me to paint this. So I just sent him a message saying, oh, I have something for you. Where do you fly your drone from? And anyway, I went.
And then 3 weeks had passed, and I was like, I'm sure that girl on Instagram said she had something for me. So I messaged her and I said, didn't you have something to give me? And she's like,
Do I
I don't want to
what?
give it to you. Oh, do I what?
Yeah, look, I bailed. I was like, actually, I'm not an artist. This is silly. I'm not coming. And so I was like,
I just said, no, bring it. I'm sure whatever you've done, it's going to be beautiful, right? So,
yeah. And then I showed
and
up.
that was it. She showed up with the painting and all over Red Rover.
Oh, I love that. Sometimes it starts with a follow and it ends in a relationship. That's what the new kids are doing online, isn't it? You know, meeting their partners online. Now, Emily and James, I haven't forgot about you. How did you two lovers meet?
You do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I think our meeting was a bit more analog, less digital, but the first time I remember seeing her. I was at the Archaeology Institute, University of West Florida. I was a master's student. She's an undergrad student. And she came in, and I was sitting in the main office there, and just one of those things where I was talking to somebody, and she walked by, and I about broke my damn neck.
Oh,
Who was that?
that's because we're in Northwest Florida, y'all. Okay.
True that.
She wasn't wrestling gators.
No, she wasn't, but but caught my attention. And then later we were introduced to one another by a person we knew in common, and that didn't seem particularly promising because it was a, hey, Emily, this is James. James, this is Emily. And we were like, hi. So I hear you're from Washington State? She's like, yeah. Cool, it was nice meeting you. Yep. And then we like split and didn't really speak to each other again. And then later
I picked him up in a
just
bar.
tell him. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the local like archaeology dive bar, and I was like, "Who is that guy?
I want
I will
him.
follow that guy." And he had a big 5 on the back of his shirt, so it made it like super easy. But the ocean part of this story is that I was an undergraduate student and James was a master's student, and so my first maritime archaeological field school was on his master's thesis rec. So he was the only one that really had his shit together.
That's
He was,
fantastic.
you were very impressive, and you still are.
Thank you. So are you.
Oh my gosh, this is all good. That's fantastic. Do you know what the really interesting thing is? Is that all the women have gone, no, there's something about this guy, and they haven't sat back and waited and gone, okay, nice meeting you. They've just gone, no, I want this guy, and they've gone for it. And I absolutely love that. So go, girlfriends. And can I just put it to the audience, because research, men, do you find it attractive and a turn on when women are the ones that instigate? Hands up. I need a bit of crowd. Just, Richard, you're married. Put it down. Did your wife follow you? Did she instigate things, or did you? She did. She hunted you down. And did she wrestle you and put you in a headlock? No, that's an octopus. Sorry. Wrong thing. So, men, yes, we find it attractive. Come on, there's some men. Use your hands. Come on. Crowd participation. Excellent. Now, women, would you instigate? If you saw a guy and you thought he's a bit okay, would you instigate it? Hands up. I love that. Yes. Excellent. Look what happens when you instigate it. You get to meet the love of your life. Note to oneself, don't be a scaredy pants. Okay. So I love this. I think it's really cool. Now, what I want to do is now turn things on their head a bit. You've expressed how much you love each other, and love can be expressed in all sorts of different ways. Now, I'm going to put a bit of a nautical twist on it, and I'm going to start with you at the end, James and Emily. If you can describe each other, and I'll start with you, James. You can describe Emily as a marine creature. What would it be and why?
Remember, I'm right here.
And those
find you.
flags are sharp.
Looming. In all honesty, I'd say you're a dolphin. Lots of energy. Very excited. Very excitable.
Intelligent.
Good heart. Intelligent.
He didn't say that, but thank you.
Emily, how would you describe James?
Same in reverse.
No, I was really struggling with this when I was going down like the moray eel route, and then I was like dugong. But you barracuda. But your daughter said whale, but I think that what she means is I can see you're very peaceful, you're calm, you ground me. This has always been one of the reasons our relationship works, and so I do think you of this gentle giant of the ocean.
Oh, I love that. That's really beautiful. Harriet and Woody. Harriet, what would you describe Woody as?
I would describe Woody as a sea otter because he is very good at, how they can get into food really well and figure things out. You're very techie and you're very good at that. And in the current, in bad times, you're good at holding on to the things you love. And you are covered in a lot of hair. And all of those things I love about you.
And they always look happy.
And they always look so happy.
They do. And is he a good snuggler? Because they're snugglers. aren't they?
Yeah, and playful. So I reckon sea otter.
Oh, nice. Woody, how would you describe Harriet?
Forgive me for this because it's not going to sound great at the start.
Okay, get your flags ready. Harriet, ladies, we've got to support Harriet just in case we need to.
An Australian sea lion.
Okay.
I have just called you like a big marine mammal, but there's lots of reasons why. She's fun and playful. She's cute as. But also she's an absolute boss, so she goes after everything. They swim like 9 kilometers to the continental shelf to fish for 3 days and then come back in the Southern Ocean, which is killer, like you. And then also they can lounge around on a rock for a few days and do absolutely nothing and Stanley Hibernate.
That's it.
There you go.
That's fantastic. Now, Angela and Jason. Angela, how would you describe Jason?
Okay. I think I was thinking about this, and I think I would probably describe Jay as a bit of an octopus, which sounds weird, but he's also, Jay's a builder and he's quite crafty, and I just feel like I've watched enough octopuses in real life and seen the way that they maneuver their little objects and make their little houses, and I just think that really suits Jay, as well as being a problem solver. But also they like to be a little bit on their own and have their own time and space, and you're a bit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they're super lovable, so
Yeah,
also that.
wonderful. Okay, now it's on you, Jason. How would you describe Angela?
I think there's a bit of a mix between two. Leopard shark, because they're the most gorgeous things in the planet, in my eyes.
I need a flag. Red. Green. Sorry, green.
And she's very social, lovable. So dolphins to me are a little bit like that as well. So yeah, a bit of a mix between a leopard and a dolly. So a dolly, a leopard. Oh yeah, the leopard.
A leopard. Oh, I love that.
Great.
That's fantastic. There's some really lovely attributes that you've described about each other, and I imagine that would create some really interesting dynamics when it comes to the workspace. Now, having work and play and balancing, as you were saying earlier, Harriet, that dynamic of work and play, it can be really consuming when you're really passionate about what you do. And so I might start with you, Emily and James, about how you balance life and work together, because you actually work next to each other. You have a desk next to each other.
We do.
So you go to work together and then you come home together.
No.
No, not so.
No. So we live out in the lower Blue Mountains and we commute into the museum. We have a child who's going to school. So what that entails is that one of us normally goes in early. The one who goes in later drops the kid off at school, then goes in. The one who went in early then goes back early to pick the kid up. And then the one who went in later goes back later. So there's a running joke at the museum. If people see the two of us at the same time, they freak out. Because they're like, no, we actually thought you were the same person. So, yeah, we rarely, even though our desks are literally right next to each other, we are rarely ever in the same office space together.
But when we do, we have lunch.
Yes.
And is there a visual difference? Can you tell whose desk is whose?
Oh, absolutely. Like James's is covered in dive weights and trowels and
Books.
and maps and drawings. And mine has like pictures of fish and a CSIRO mouse pad.
We both, to be fair though, we both equally have a lot of art by,
Yeah, we're messy.
yeah.
Yeah, we're very messy.
Yeah.
And like it blends over and falls. And then, but it's fine because I can push all the stuff that I don't want onto that side and then blame it on someone else.
Fantastic. And know that at the end of the day, he'll still love you,
Correct.
which is very important. So, segue into that. How do you balance that work, play, dynamic home life? Is that really hard for you when it seems to be all consuming?
Sometimes I verbalize it. Like right now, this is work, Emily. Or sometimes this is wife, Emily. But we, like James goes in the field a lot. And that's great because that makes him really happy. Just rowing on the Nepean every morning is what makes him worth being in the same room. Last year, he went in the field a lot. And then by the end of the year, I was like, my turn. I want to go. I want to go. So I got to go and investigate her, and that was really nice. And that made me worth hanging out with at Christmas.
Totally. That's basically what we try to do when it comes to things like that. If we're going to be away, it's we try to schedule things. God, it's not easy due to work mostly.
But we have to acknowledge that they're pretty cool. They're
They are
extremely nice
They do treat us very well. Yeah.
in letting us
They
do
give us
this.
a lot of free reins. That's really good. And yeah, if I get to go on the field, obviously she does too. It's ridiculous that I would be able to go and she couldn't. So we try to work that out.
Oh, that's great. Because I was going to say, would it be hard when your partner's doing something really exciting and you can't and you're staying at home? So I really love that.
Oh, yeah. I don't particularly want to hear about it on the phone. Like, that's cool. Have a great time. I'm making dinner.
The other thing we try to do is we both like bushwalking quite a lot. So on the weekends, we'll try to go for a hike or go do something. It's the kid often who has the problem with that.
Yeah.
We're great. We're cool. She's like, yeah, do you have to?
Awesome. Now, Harriet and Woody, you take the working kind of to the next level. So I'm interested to see that dynamic because you've actually got a production company. So obviously a marriage, live together, you have a business together called, what is it? It's called
Grumpy Turtle.
Grumpy Turtle. So it's
Yeah.
a production company. How do you manage that dynamic in terms of balancing that work life, which is, again, difficult when you're so passionate about what you do and you love it and you're incredibly invested. Before you answer that question, though, who is the Grumpy Turtle?
Me. The Grumpy Turtle is, so it started when I was working at the aquarium in Manly. Does anyone remember that there used to be an aquarium in Manly? And I worked there as one of the dive instructors that took people in with the sharks. And we had a turtle called Myrtle, and she was just the most beautiful turtle. She had been rescued. She got hit by a boat and couldn't go back to the ocean because we had to put a weight on her like a scuba diver so she could go down because she had trapped air. And because of that, she was very used to humans. And in the cold winter months, she would come down and give me a cuddle and just brought so much joy to my life. But she looked really grumpy. And then if we look at sea turtles in general, they're really impacted by climate change and plastic pollution, overfishing, all the issues we are. And so I started Grumpy Turtle in my very early days before I'd even started film as like a communications platform to try and profile people and organizations that are making turtles less grumpy. And then I've stuck with the name. So basically the way we work is we have a production company together, and when a project comes in that can use both our skills, so Woody's a cinematographer, I'm a producer and director, we will work on it together. So if you're around at 2:00 today, there's a film we made called Ellison, the Reef That Saved Them All screening. So that's like a Grumpy Turtle film. But then Woody will go off and do contracts on like TV shows that's just cinematography, and I'll go and do contracts by myself. So we find the balance is about maintaining your own professional identity away from purely the production company.
Is that a deliberate effort, something that you're both really conscious about?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're at the stage in our career where we both still want to be working on other TV shows, not just our own creations. And so I think that's something we consciously did because it is hard running a business with your partner. And I would say the times we're happiest is when you're actually out on the shoot or under the water together on the trip. It's actually the times in between when you're trying to organize everything and there's no delineation between work and home, and it can be really tough.
Make a mistake.
Because it'll
Live
come
on
and
that.
haunt you.
Oh yeah, especially if you know you get there and you're like, oh, didn't think of that until now.
Yeah.
And then Harry goes, why didn't you think of that? And I didn't. But now we're here. So yeah, the balance is ocean.
Yeah.
It simmers like a kettle, and then you go, I'm gonna jump in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then you get out and you're like, oh, everything's fine. What was that thing I should have remembered before I got in the ocean?
It's a
what-
great
yeah.
equalizer. So if you have a fight, I think there's a lesson. If you're having an argument, just throw your partner overboard and everything will be fine. Is that the kind of the lesson?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's what we do gives us so much joy and passion. And I don't think we just run the business together for the sake of it. It's what it is that makes us. And we've worked together. We met working together. So it's how we've known each other. But yeah, it definitely has its challenges.
Love it. Now, Angela and Jason, you're not working side by side necessarily, but you're very much in it together, and you've got these complementary skills with Jason, with what you're doing above the water, Angela, what you're doing in the water and capturing imagery, as well as then shaping the minds of future ocean custodians. So how does that dynamic play out between the both of you?
I just think so I was trying to think how we'd answer this question. And yes, you're right. We don't work together necessarily, but the ocean has brought us together, and it is our passion, and it's what we advocate for. And so I think we've set up this life where that's our focus. Every night the conversation is, what's the ocean like tomorrow? And we check the forecast and we check the conditions. And yeah, I think for us,
I want to turn my passion into a reality, right? Where I don't have, because I'm a builder as well. Most people may not know that. So I do my morning stuff. We're up super early. We enjoy our coffee, then we go and do our thing in the morning. I look for the sharks. I film the animals. I have to go back and do all the editing. So there's probably about 4
condition reports.
Yeah, condition report on my lives for subscribers. I can see one here. So basically, there's a lot to do with my passion at work, which has not allowed me to leave my building job just yet. But I know that's what the future holds for me, because that's been a vision I've been doing it for 8 years now, and I'm halfway there. So I work 4 hours on the building site every day. This is a company that I started when I was 27. But I just don't hire anyone anymore. I just do my own work for existing clients. So it all works beautifully. And Ange is a teacher, so
Yeah.
our lifestyle's pretty cruisy.
Pretty nice
Yeah.
setup. Yeah. So I don't think work's bringing us any stress, and we just enjoy the ocean together.
Good on
And
you.
share that with everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think you're all examples of what is possible together and how you support each other. And I think that's really powerful. But I also think working in the ocean space can be really challenging and confronting at times. And so I'm really interested to know, how do you support each other through that, and how do you remain hopeful? And I might stay with both Angela and Jason, if you don't mind starting off, because given the work that you do, and especially you're above the water and you're below, Angela, going out to the nets and seeing firsthand how animals are being trapped, like, how do you support each other when things just seem completely overwhelming?
I think that's probably more your role. You're really good. Jay's a very positive person. And yes, it can be a bit depressing. Even today, I was part of the beach cleanup for the Ocean Lovers Festival, and that was depressing as well. Because it just felt like every time you picked up a piece of rubbish, there was just another 10 waiting. And so, yeah, it can be a little bit daunting, and you think, how can we really make a positive impact? We went to council to speak about the nets, and then nothing really happened there either. And you feel like you're making all this sort of headway. But I think just by having Jay around, who's very positive and very much, okay, that's right, we get up and we continue on the next day, and we're going to have another great adventure, and it's okay.
Yeah. I've seen some heartbreaking stuff, obviously,
Yeah.
around the nets. A couple of dead dolphins here at Bondi that really shook me up. Like rays and stuff.
And the seal
Yeah,
trap.
Yeah, and the seal's been hooked on the drum line. Homer the hammerhead's been hooked on the drum line. So I create a narrative around those characters so everyone can see that character, like the hammerhead. For instance, today I saw 2 of them this morning. Homer, 2 Homers. So people can then say, okay, oh, this shark's got a name. Oh, how cool. So then they get a bit invested in that animal, and they may then go out and want to help in some way, around reducing.
So it's about supporting each other, but also tapping into the wider network who really support what you do. So when you feel as though it is overwhelming, getting that support externally, which I think is really powerful, especially you've got 250,000 followers. That must be pretty motivating.
I've actually got over 1 million. I got other platforms. It's not just
so-
Instagram, but
sorry.
but
1 million followers. Look at you go. No, I think that's
gotta just state the facts
incredibly.
here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what? You've got Instagram. You're doing TikTok.
Look, I have TikTok, but I don't. I'm not very social on there, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, great.
So
Wow, that's really impressive. Emily and James, how do you navigate and support each other in the ocean space? There's lots of really great things, discoveries, and sharing these incredible discoveries, Emily, with the wider audience. There's a flip side that isn't so pretty with the oceans. And how do you support each other through that when things seem overwhelming?
She is probably the best person for me to bounce ideas off of, which is really good. And yeah, one of the things that we frequently do, and I reckon everybody who's in a relationship does it, thank you, see?
See, this is support.
Is,
That's
yeah,
support.
that's what it's for, is they talk to each other about work, whether you want to or not. I think it generally comes up, and of course we work in the same place. So we know all the characters involved and all the dynamics, and so we're able to talk things through about what's going on with each of our respective roles, and that's really helpful. In terms of projects, and we've worked together on projects in the past, she is the logistics whiz. This one, like, I come up with some harebrained idea, oh, I'm gonna go find this shipwreck way out in this crazy far off place, and she can figure out how to make that happen. So it's really invaluable. And she's also given me ideas for projects too, like Wyatt Earp, for example, because she has knowledge about things like Antarctic exploration and the history of that. Yeah.
But I think he's the best maritime archaeologist I know. So I know that great. You can deliver the content. You can deliver the story if I can just build the thing around it. But one of my favorite projects that it was HMCS Protector, which is on Heron Island. And we went up, we got some money to go and do a survey, and I was 8 months pregnant.
Whoa.
So it was our daughter's first project. And I'm out there swimming with the sharks on Heron Island. Here you go. So that was really lovely. So that was our first family project. We haven't gotten her out since because she's 12 and she doesn't like anything that we do. But
Not yet. Not yet. She will. She'll come around.
Serious tweenitis. Boy, it's, yeah.
But is there anything that you do, like when each of you are feeling flat, that you know is going to get instantaneously get a reaction and make them feel more hopeful, whether or not it's a gift, an act for each other?
go rowing.
Yeah. Go right. Get out there. Yeah.
Come up with some, smart ass joke or comment. That seems to help. I think that works for me.
And
Definitely.
especially if you've got such an intimate understanding of the business dynamic and how work operates, I imagine that must be really helpful. Harriet and Woody, with some of the work that you do, obviously, as photographer, videographer, you're also at the coalface. You're seeing the massive challenges with our oceans, which at times can be so incredibly disheartening. How do you buoy each other and support each other from drowning in the overwhelm that we often see?
I think that we are super privileged. We get to see the best of the ocean and we get to see the worst of the ocean. So this point, and I'll come back to a very vivid memory, and it has a comparison without Harriet as well, is coral bleaching. So we did a job on Lizard Island 2022, and then it got hit by the bleaching. We went back in last year, and the place that we knew and remembered so vividly as being amazing was changed. Like, it was wipeout. We swim together, we have a cuddle, you get it out, and all I said to Harriet is all we can do is capture this. That's all we can do. We're here, we can show the world, we do this. And then I'm going back in time to 2024 bleaching. I went to Heron Island with AMCS, who are here, catch up with them. They're awesome, amazing charity. But it was just me and Selena Ward, who's a coral scientist. And I remember being out of signal, and just every night was a battle by yourself. You had no one really to offload to a level that you knew was there, or no one in your place, or no one that had seen that with you. And me and Selena both came together, but Harriet she knows you intimately. She knows how you're feeling. She knows my tells. So she'd be like, you're really quiet. You're never quiet. So that's the comparison there. So yeah, she's like an absolute rock emotionally.
Red, green, big green.
Yeah, I think as well, like just from a work perspective as well, like running your own business and working freelance can be a real up and down thing. And I actually feel like we're really good at Woody will be up when I'm down, and I'll be up when he's down, and then you can help balance each other out.
Yeah.
Got to take your uppers with your downers and your downers with your uppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I think you've all got something really special. And I think the ocean has this ability to kind of shape us and also teach us. And I think the really interesting thing, because I'm an expert on relationships and everything, that you constantly learn from your partner. But I want to do a little bit of a test, and I want to see how much you really know about your partner, and I'm going to play a game. And it's called Red Flag, Green Flag. Yes. And I haven't shared these questions, so this is going to be fun. Now, does everyone know what red flag, green flag is? Everyone knows? If you don't, because there's a few people that don't, and I'm not here to judge. So you see it on social media, cool kids do it. So green flag and red flag is something that usually refers to a dynamic in a relationship. So green is good, something that you want. Red, not so good. Send them to the bin. We don't like it. So we're going to play that game, and we've got some flags prepared earlier. Thanks, Ma, for saving my bacon and creating these organic a la naturel flags that will become, I'm sure, prized, highly prized flags at the end of this. Now, don't look at each other, and I'm going to ask you, all of you, a question, okay? And I need you to raise the flag afterwards. Good is red. No, good is green. See, I don't even know. This is anyone why I'm single. Good is green, red is bad. Okay, you ready? Right. All right, so they cancel a romantic dinner, like a full-on romantic dinner, candles, the works, champagne, because the visibility is off the charts and they want to go diving.
But
red or green?
Can I go with them? Is there an invite for me?
Yes, absolutely.
If you're not gonna
Oh, most agree. Oh, yeah. It's not bad. Okay, awesome. Now, you're in the water together and they spot a rare species. But they don't tell you.
Red or green?
Listen to this.
Oh, what?
Woody's done this on HB.
Woody!
Same, and we
I have a theory.
well done.
Huts for you too.
Enjoy it.
I'm not so
It's there. Like, you were in that place to see the animal. Go enjoy.
Harriet.
No, it was when we were like back in the days when we shared a camera. And then I got home from the dive and was looking back through the photos. I was like, you saw a giant cuttlefish. You didn't even come and tell it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I've thought of every excuse under the sun. I'm still thinking of them. Never forgiven.
Can pure research purposes, do we think it's a red or a green if your partner doesn't show you something magical in the marine environment? I'm just going to ask for one. So green flag if they didn't show you. Woody.
Woody, you are in the bin.
Woody.
My bin.
Yeah. No one thinks it's a good idea. Look,
The other day I was in the water and Jay found dolphins with the drone. And he actually did try to tell me by messaging my friend Sarah, who I swim with. She has a watch. He actually tried.
Oh,
but he didn't, in my opinion, good enough. And I got out and I was like, what? And I rung him. I'm like, what do you mean this dolphin?
I was testing out a new drone for the first day. Yes, that is right.
Anyway, we did have a bit. I was like, nah, I'm going to work. And I'm like, no,
So usually I have a speaker on my drone and I didn't have the speaker on, so it was a bit of,
You
okay,
did it.
how am I going to tell her?
I was like,
Of all days for the dolphins to show up, now I can't.
Anyway,
And I know
I
Eddie
eventually
Evoed.
did have to send us, I'm sorry, text.
Oh, did you? I'm glad you owned it. Now, last one.
I'm
Now,
I'm just going to say, we've been together so long that it's actually like boring now. So he'll text me immediately, but he'll be like, I just found a shipwreck. Cool.
Oh, really?
Whatever. So I got myself a red flag.
I love that you have that sense of awareness to actually to acknowledge that. Good on you.
I should put it on public record. I tried to tell Harriet just once.
Did you?
If she wasn't listening.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was like,
Did you try hard? Did you have a megaphone?
I was like, hey, Harry.
Did you have a friend with a
I
watch?
was like, Harry, come here.
I love that. Okay, last one. This is a little bit polarizing. It's also very telling. And I also just want you to know that this is a safe space and I'm not here to judge anyone, okay? They wee in their wetsuit. Red flag or green flag?
It just happened.
Yeah.
Everyone
You don't.
does it, and
Yeah,
if they're
everyone knows that.
lying,
Yeah. And if you don't, you're lying. You don't?
You know why? Because the museum owns it.
You
The museum owns that wetsuit, so I can't do it.
How long are you down for?
An hour, sometimes.
Oh, do you tie it in a knot? Like, how do you do that? I hit the water automatically.
It's a mental exercise. When I did work on the Endeavour shipwreck in Rhode Island, we did a couple of dives that was 4 degrees. This is the height of winter in the U.S. in Rhode Island, and I'm in a dry suit. I'm like, I can't be in this suit. There's no way. I'm in a dry suit. I'm gonna be stewing in this, and it's gonna be nasty. I don't know. It's like a mental exercise. Like you just kind of don't do it. Get to the surface, get all the gear off, and just run for the bathroom and the cabin. And
I admire that
Yep.
level of self-control. 0. And might explain a few things, but anyway.
I've probably shaved some years off my life doing that, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah, how's your bladder? Ooh, my goodness. All right. I think you did a really good job. I think you did a great job. Now we've navigated the really important stuff. Do you wear in your wetsuit? Do you point out marine animals? Now, it's going to be interesting dynamic when you get home, and good luck, because I really like you both. But I want to dive in a little deeper now, because relationships just don't happen. They're built, they're weathered, and they're occasionally tested in really tough conditions. Or in my case, they sink to the abyss, never to be seen. So I want to know from all of you, and I might start with you, Emily and James, what has the ocean taught you about relationships? And what do you think is the secret to keeping it afloat?
I don't know. I think our relationship is a beautiful thing. I mean, like the ocean, because I love the ocean. It's a beautiful place. I mean, it's got its challenges. It's got its incredible moments. Yeah. And, I've worked in a lot of diverse environments and that sort of thing. And you just, you troubleshoot and work your way through it. So I guess that would be it.
Vast, unknowable.
Because you've been together 25 years.
Yeah.
Quarter of a century.
The annoying thing about James is that I met him like when I was barely more than a teenager. And yet I was like, oh, this is that I want to be old on a porch with. Shoot. Okay. I think it's or the deck of a boat. So it's just, we can weather all storms together.
I've done pretty well.
And communication, I imagine, is the key to that, to weathering those.
Thank you for that leading statement. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to help as a relationship therapist. It's part of my job. Now, Harriet and Woody, you've been together 14 years and you've been married for 6. So what do you think the ocean's taught you about relationships? Again, because I'm writing notes.
Can I take this first? Okay. I feel like no metaphors or anything. I just think that the ocean for us, we love to be in it together. And I think that's really been the glue of our relationship. And you go through challenges in all kinds of different ways in life. And I think anytime we just go jump in the ocean together, it just strips back everything.
It's a great equalizer.
It just really is. And I think even if it's not the ocean, people have those natural places that make them feel like that together. So I guess it's like the glue for us. Yeah.
Get back in the water. Things get tough. Get back in the water.
Go for a snorkel. Go for a swim.
Yeah. Woody?
And the ocean is, you can't predict it. It just happens.
Yeah. Is
So
it
it's-
like Harriet?
It's a little bit more predictable. And that's it, right? It's like when you face the challenge of the day together, the ocean changes, challenge changes. Just go with it, ebb and flow
Yeah.
of the tides.
Lovely.
There you go, metaphors.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm all about a metaphor. Angela and Jason, you're the youngest of our lovers. 4.5 years? Yeah, 4.5 years. So what do you think the ocean's taught you about relationships and weathering uncharted waters and events?
It hasn't been many.
No.
Apart from when you don't touch her about dolphins.
I think that the ocean has made me braver. I think it's so I think that sort of using that in a relationship, the bravery to go up to a random with a painting. And also communication is obviously key, but the other thing I think we do really well together that you do in the ocean is we're actually really great at being in silence together and we're in a very small apartment, very small. And so there is no individual space, but we can give that to each other because we are very comfortable in silence and just being.
Well, we sit and look at the window.
Yeah, we actually, yeah, that's right. We're
Great,
sitting
you
out
on
looking
day feet,
looking
so
at the seashores. But
every day you get home like that.
yeah, but in silence.
But all our
And you
trips,
can't talk in the ocean, so
all our trips, we've been on many trips together. I can't even count how many, but they're all
to do with the ocean.
to do with the ocean, and it's just that common ground where we're just in awe whenever we say, for instance, we go and search to swim with dolphins, and we're just like two little kids together, right? So we're just like, let's go get those dolphins and swim with those dolphins. So it's just, we just love it.
So it keeps you youthful as well. Yeah, ever like curious.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about the ocean. So we're learning about what the ocean's taught you about relationships, resilience, but also showing up for each other, which I think is really important. And it's in those lessons that don't just shape great partnerships. I think they're the foundation of how we need to show up for the ocean too, and how we can all make a difference and create a healthy future for our oceans that we all want. And in that context, now looking ahead, I want to ask you and wrap up with two final questions, although I could just talk to you all forever. And maybe starting with you, Harriet and Woody, projecting into 12 months from now, what do you want to see has changed in the ocean, and how do you know it would have been achieved? I know it's a really big question.
That is a big question.
And send it to the boss.
I would love to see more movement on the 30 times 30 protection of the oceans around the world. More action in regards to climate change and the move to more renewable energy. But sometimes it feels like that's going to take longer than 12 months, unfortunately. And just more people speaking up and using their political power to advocate for healthier oceans.
Yep, some more action, people
Yeah.
using their voices.
Yeah.
You bought me some time there. I think in 12 months' time.
Don't
Yeah,
know.
see. Me on a personal level, I think the next generation are going to be the key. We've been in the ocean space for like 20 years. Like, I loved it. Still want to be in there. We need to be helping the next 20 years to come in, go up, go that. So in 12 months' time, I'd like to see some little legends.
Yeah, that's great. Angela and Jason,
I think
12 months?
we want to see the nets out.
Yeah.
We would,
Yeah.
we would like to see the removal of shark nets on all of our beaches because we know they don't work and they're destructive. So
Yeah, they're just a false sense of security, really. And
Yeah.
the state government or whoever has to make that decision to remove the nets, I get that it's a big decision for that person to make that call. But the reality is, and I'm showing people regular occasions that sharks just can swim around these nets. So there's probably 10% of net coverage across Bondi Beach. So if you think you're going to go in the ocean, your shark's not going to come into shore.
yeah, last Saturday,
Yeah.
Jay got on his walkie-talkie or got on the phone and evacuated people because there was a shark that had come into the breakers,
Yeah.
which is well past the net. And to know how that's happened, well, the net will be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel that they're also more of a shark attractant than a deterrent. So it's
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
that's
But no one's brave enough to make that call
That's it.
yet. If you draw the parallel between how about we take the cars off the road because they actually kill more people, or where do you want to start with that? That's going off on a tangent. That's what happens. I can go rogue. But no, I agree. And good luck. I hope. I have no doubt that you'll achieve that. Now, Emily and James, I haven't forgotten about you down the end. What do you
Mavis?
projecting 12 months into the future?
I'm
What do you
gonna,
wanna
I'm
see?
gonna stick to our topic area today, underwater cultural heritage. It's really interesting, right? Because we have all these wonderful plans for the ocean, some that are happening, some that are harder to do. The Sustainable Oceans Plan, the National Marine Science Plan, one of the things that we've been working on is getting underwater cultural heritage management, which is hundreds, thousands of years of cultural heritage around Australia's in our marine estate to be considered as and included in part in that plan. And so we've made some strides recently. I can announce here that underwater cultural heritage will have a tiny paragraph in the next National Marine Science Plan.
Yeah.
But I think continuing to raise awareness that that does have an important role to play in our future plans for the ocean.
And I guess if I could drill down a little further on that topic, one thing that really concerns me, and I'd like to see more action on, are potentially polluting wrecks. We have wreck sites sitting off New South Wales right now that have contaminants in them, and they date to the Second World War. And we know, Em and I, from having worked in this field for as long as we have, that those wreck sites are corroding. They are returning to their constituent parts is what they're doing. And ultimately what that means is if you've got a shipwreck with a whole lot of fuel oil in it and it breaches, it's going to go out into the environment. And this is real. It exists. And anything like tectonic activity, tsunami, anything like that can potentially cause that kind of a rupture. So I think I would really hope that we'll see governments starting to take that thing more seriously before it gets out of control.
Yeah, great. I think they're all really powerful kind of visions, and I hope they all come to life. I have no doubt with all the passion and expertise and experience that they will. And I think, but bringing all that to life is not just, shouldn't sit on your shoulders. I think we can all do something. There's all something that every one of us can do. And if we all act and do something, that collective power is so incredibly compelling and transformative. So in wrapping this up, I'd like to just give you one more question to each of you. For everyone in the audience, what is one thing, one simple action that everyone can do here in this room today when they leave that will help protect our oceans? Just one thing. I'm going to start with you, Woody.
I'm probably going to steal your answer here. I know you say, so I won't, because I'm nice.
Green.
I was just going to enjoy the ocean. I think as much as we talk about conservation and all of this stuff, sometimes we can all get lost in the messaging and just go and enjoy a place, go and swim, go see people, share it, take a photo.
I would have two things that you can go home and do. Social media is really noisy and it's hard to keep track of things that are happening in your feed. So I like to sign up to all the emails from Australian Marine Conservation Society, the Climate Council, all of those kind of not-for-profits, because they'll usually email you things that they're working on and make it super easy to take action. The other thing you can do is there's a website called They Vote For You, and you can look up your local MP and see how they vote on different policies. And it's actually like I have a little wine and look what everyone's voting on. And you can see what they're voting consistently for and against. And if that doesn't sit right with you, contact your MP. So two things you can do tonight: sign up to a couple of NGOs because they'll keep you up to date with what's happening in the ocean. Check out that website and see what your local MP is doing.
Great tips. Thank you. Angela and Jason, a takeaway, one single thing or a couple that people can do?
I think we would just say join the Nets Out Now movement, and you can get in touch with the Nets Out Now coalition and you can make some noise about that. Even check out Jay's page for, I guess, if you're unaware maybe of what they look like or what the Nets are doing or not doing, you can also check that out. Just, so familiarize yourself with that. And
Yeah, you might help a ray or two or a dolphin being trapped.
turtle, seal,
Yeah.
anything other than what they're designed to trap.
Yeah, it's outrageous. Emily and James?
I don't know, it sounds pretty simple probably, but if you're out for a dive and you just see some rubbish, pick it up.
Yeah.
And especially if it's plastic. And I say that for the environmental reason, but also because I feel bad for any archaeologist who's going to come along in about 500 years. They are going to have the worst time. So let's get rid of it all.
Emily?
I'm going to put my MC hat on and say, go outside and sign a pledge for what you will do for the ocean.
Yay! Thank you. Now, thank you all. Incredibly insightful and really simple things. I think people think to actually make a difference, and these were really complicated and time intensive. I'm going to have to change my life, and I'm not going to be able to live the way that I used to live. And it doesn't have to be that difficult. I'm interested to know, is anyone going to try one of these actions, going to go out, be inspired and do something? Thank you. Look at all, yes, red flags. Give them all red flags. Green, oh, Jesus. Jesus. Can you see why I'm confused, potentially still see on the fence? Because I don't even know what's what. I knew it was going to go rogue. Anyway, here we are. I want to thank you personally for all the incredible work that you do. And I think one of the really powerful things with what you're doing is that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. I think it's magnified when you find someone that resonates with you. The ability that you have to inspire and create change is just off the charts. It's motivating, it's inspiring, and I thank you all from the bottom of my fins for all the incredible work that you do and for sharing your love story. You've given me hope, because I just was like, it's never going to happen. I love this so much. So thank you for sharing your stories. And if the crowd can actually show their love for this incredible panel, I would be really grateful.